What's up, guys? Whew, yummy. Alright, guys, let's jump right into this. Audit logs from a company's vulnerability scanning software show the following findings. As you see with all this highlighted stuff here, Server 101 has issues. It is vulnerable to buffer overflow exploit that may allow attackers to install software. And the Server 101 is the internal human resource payroll server, internal facing web server, and SQL server for Server 101. It's Server 101. A security analyst wants to harden the company's voice over internet protocol, PBX. The analyst is worried that credentials may be intercepted and compromised when IP phones authenticate within the BPX. Which of the following would best prevent this from occurring? And that is to require SIPs on connections to the PBX. An organization is comparing and contrasting migration from a standard desktop configuration to the newest version of the platform. Before this can happen, the Chief Information Security Officer voices the need to evaluate the functionality of the newer desktop platform to ensure interoperability within existing software in use by the organization, in which the following principles of architecture and design is the CISO engaging, and that is change management. So we're going to be changing from the different platforms. Security Administrator expects a man-in-the-middle attack is aimed at impersonating the default gateway is underway. Which of the following tools should the administrator use to detect this attack? Select two. We're going to do an IP config. You can use it in PowerShell, or you can use that in command prompt, as well as we're going to do a tracer. A user is presented with the following items during a new hire onboarding process: laptop, secure USB, hardware OTP token, external high-capacity HTTP, password connectivity policy, acceptable use policy, hasskey, cable lock. Which following is one component of multi-factor authentication? And that's going to be that token. Token's going to keep on just bouncing around the different generated passwords to use. It can kind of looks like a little key fob, basically, is what it looks like. So people walk around with those things. An organization requires users to provide their fingerprints to access an application. To improve security, the application developers intend to implement multi-factor authentication. So right now we already see that someone has something they have, which is their fingerprint. Something they are. They are their fingerprint. Alright, so which of the following should be implemented? And that is B. Have the user sign their name naturally. Because that is something they know. Whereas a camera facial recognition, that's still something they are. Required palm geometry scan, that's still something they are. And their iris scan, that is still something they are. So, sign naturally is something they know. A network technician is setting up a segmented network that will utilize a separate ISP to provide wireless access to the public area for a company. Which of the following wireless security methods should the technician implement to provide basic accountability for access to the public network? That is going to be using a captive portal. After a routine audit, a company discovers engineering documents have been leaving the network on a particular port. The company must allow outbound traffic on this port, as it is legitimate business use. Blocking the port would cause an outage. Which of the following technology controls should the company implement? And that is C, DLPU. We're going to duplicate you. Easy way to remember that. A security analyst has received the following alert snippet from the HIDS appliance. Given the above logs, which of the following is the cause of the attack? That is, fin, erg, and flags are set in the packet header. Basically, keep a lookout for the packet header on this one. Security analyst reviews the following output. The analyst loads the hash into the seam and discovers the hash is seen in other parts of the network after inspecting a large number of files. Security analyst reports the following. The file hash, files found, some stuff, some file, and no file. Which of the following is most likely the cause of the hash being found in other areas? And that is B. There are MD5 hash collisions. Basically, they're bouncing between each other. You don't want to have those collisions. You're not going to have a good time. A company's AU peak requires passwords meet complexity requirements. Passwords are changed at least once every 6 months. Password must be at least 8 characters long. An auditor is reviewing the following report. Username. We got Carol, David, Ann. Last long was 2 hours, 1 hour, 5 hours. Last changed 90 days ago, 30 days ago, 247 days ago, and 7 days ago. Which following controls should the auditor recommend to enforce on the AUP? And that is password expiration, because, I mean, right here it says every 6 months. And, yeah. An organization's primary data center is experiencing a 2-day outage due to an HVAC malfunction. The node located in the data center has lost power and is no longer operational, impacting the ability of all users to connect to an alternate data center, which the following BIA business concepts should best represents the risk described in this scenario, and that is A, SBOF for that fucking outage. Little Easter egg there. I swear for you. Anyway, a security analyst notices anomalous activity coming from several workstations in the organization. Upon identifying and containing the issue, which of the following should the security analyst do next? And it's going to be a document. Make sure you document the crap out of that. Document the findings and processes in the after action and lessons learned report. An employer receives an email which appears to be from the chief executive officer asking for a report of security credentials for all users. Which of the following types of attack is most likely occurring? That is spear phishing. Because the employer receives an email and it seems to be coming from a legitimate source, and they're asking the report for security credentials of all the users, so they're probably going after more than just that person too. They are spear phishing for that shit. An information security analyst needs to work on the employee who can answer questions about how data from a specific system is used in the business. The analyst should seek out an employee who has the role of B, the owner. The owner's going to be able to have the most access to everything. They're the one that actually controls who has access to that data. They are the owner. A group of nonprofit agencies wants to implement a cloud service to share resources with each other and minimize cost. Which of the following cloud deployment models best describes this type of effort? That is C, community. I think we saw that earlier, actually. Director of IR is reviewing the report regarding several recent breaches. The director complies the following statistics. Initial IR engagement time frame, length of time before the executive management notice went out, average IR phase completion. The director wants to use this data to shorten the response time. Which of the following would accomplish this? I think we saw some of this earlier. Tabletop exercise. That we have all the statistics for that stuff. A copy of the highly confidential salary report was recently found on a printer in the IT department. Bad IT department. Human Resource Department does not have the specific printer mapped to its devices, and it is suspected that an employee in the IT department browsed the share where the report was located and printed it out without authorization. Which of the following technical controls would best choice immediate to prevent this from happening again? That's me. B. Restrict access to the share where the report resides to only human resources employees and enabling auditing. The company is developing a new system that will unlock a computer automatically when an authorized user sits in front of it and then locks the computer when the user leaves. The user does not have to perform any action for this process to occur. Which following technology provides capability? That's facial recognition. Security analyst accesses corporate web pages and inputs random data in the forms. The response received includes a type of database used in SQL commands the database accepts. Which of the following should the security analyst use to prevent this vulnerability? And that is input validation. Which of the following differentiates a collision attack from a rainbow table attack? A rainbow table attack performs a hash lookup. A help desk is troubleshooting user reports in the corporate websites presenting untrusted certificate errors to employees and customers when they visit the website. Which of the following is the most likely cause of this error, provided the certificate has not been expired? It is C. The valid period of the certificate has passed and the new certificate has not been issued. Security analyst investigates suspected security breach and discovers the following of the logs are a potentially compromised server. Which of the following would best describe the method for preventing this type of suspected attack in the future? It is C. Implement account lockout settings. As you can see, they just completely just try to log in. Failed. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, they made on the 8th time. They could have been just easily using a dictionary or whatever else they wanted to use. And, yeah, that's not good. All right, we've actually already gone over this sim before, but we'll look at it again. As you can see, we're in RAID 1, we're going to use 2 stripe data. In RAID 1, we're going to use 2 mirror data. RAID 5, 3 stripe data. RAID 6, 4 stripe data. media streaming server, authentication server, email archive, identity management server. Security administrator is trying to encrypt communication for which of the following reasons should the administrator take advantage of the subject alternative named the SAM attribute of a certificate. It provides extended site validation. After a merger between two companies, security analysts have been asked to ensure the organization's systems are secured against infiltration by any former employees that were terminated during this transition. Which of the following actions is most appropriate to harden applications against infiltration by former employees? That is C, develop and implement update access control policies, and F, assess and eliminate inactive accounts. A new mobile application is developed in-house. Security reviews did not pick up any major flaws. However, vulnerability scanning results show fundamental issues at the very end of the project cycle. Which of the following security activities should also have been performed to discover vulnerabilities earlier in the life cycle? And that's just do a code review. And you can do that code review. You can also do some fuzzing. If that was one of the options on here, look for any bugs. But this answer is code review. A security administrator is creating a subnet on one of the corporate firewall interfaces to use as the DMZ, demilitarized zone, which is expected to accommodate at most 14 physical hosts. Which of the following subnets would best meet the requirements of this? And multiply that by 2, we got 28. The company has security policy that specifies all endpoint computing devices should be assigned a unique identifier and can be tracked via an inventory management system. Recently, changes to airline security regulations have caused many executives in the company to travel with mini tablet devices instead of laptops. These tablet devices are difficult to tag and track, and RDP application is used from the tablet to connect to the company network. Which of the following should be implemented in order to meet the security policy requirements? And that is actually using version of software. It is MDM software. The security administrator receives an email on a non-company account from a coworker stating that some reports are not exporting correctly. Attached to the email is an example of the report file with several customers' names and credit card numbers with the PIN. Which of the following is the best technical controls that will help mitigate the risk of disclosing sensitive data? Implement a DLP solution on the email gateway to scan email and remove sensitive data and files. Technician is configuring a wireless guest network. After applying the most recent changes, the technician finds the new devices can no longer find the wireless network by name, but existing devices are still able to use the wireless network. Which of the following security measures did the technician most likely implement to cause this scenario? Well, we deactivated the SSID, so you're no longer able to see the SSID broadcast, which means anyone that was already hooked up to it, it's already trusted, so it's going to connect to it automatically anyway. It already knows it exists. Anyone else trying to find it, it's not broadcasted, they're not going to see it. The security administrator has been assigned to review the security posture of the standard corporate system image for virtual machines. The security administrator conducts a thorough review of the system logs, installation procedures, network configuration, and the virtual machine image. Upon reviewing the access logs and user accounts, the security administrator determines that several accounts will not be used in production. Which of the following would correct the deficiencies? And that is host hardening. Although a web-enabled application appears to only allow letters in the comment field of the web form, malicious users was able to carry out an SQL injection attack by sending special characters, through the web comment field. Which of the following has the application programmer failed to implement? And that is server-side validation. Alright, an attacker discovers a new vulnerability in an enterprise application. The attacker takes advantage of the vulnerability by developing a new malware. After installing the malware, the attacker then is provided with access to the infected machine. Which of the following is being described as a zero-day attack because it got through everything. It wasn't even a known vulnerability with a signature on it. Alright, security administrator returning from a short vacation receives an account lockout message when attempting to log into the computer. After getting the account unlocked, security administrator immediately notices a large amount of email alerts pertaining to several different user accounts being locked out during the past 3 days. The security administrator uses system logs to determine that the lockouts were due to a brute force attack on all accounts that has been previously logged into the machine. Which of the following can be implemented to reduce the likelihood of this attack going? And that is continuous monitoring. Alright, I'm going to get out of this video and please review the next one.